Hello, real estate world. Hello, team. Go team. We're here today to discuss 5 things that you need to consider very seriously before moving your license or placing your license with a broker.
Money can buy love. Nothing wrong with being rich. Just gotta find that magic niche. Nothing wrong with being rich.
So, the 5 things we need to consider very seriously. If you're not considering this seriously, you're not doing your job as a realtor. So, real estate or real estate agent, real estate broker is a business, and you got to treat it as one. I sell businesses all day long as my specialty, and I know a business without a business plan ain't gonna go anywhere. And they say also it was always cute is like a plane flying from Los Angeles to Hawaii adjusts its route about like 1,000 times because of different circumstances, winds, and so on. Otherwise, it would never get there if it didn't do those adjustments every now and then. So if you're not looking at all the aspects of your business, whether it's current or future, then you're not being serious about your real estate business. So let's dig into it. 5 things you need to consider. Now, here's the game. We're going to mark each of these things from 0 to 20. We're going to give it points, and at the end of the day, we're going to add those points up and see where we stand. So, number 1 is what are your current expenses? Now, a lot of people will cheat on this, and that is actually the number one cheating thing, because in order for not to change where we are right now, if we're in a comfort zone, we don't want to dig into these things that might kind of put some red lights up and say like, oh, I'm actually not making as much as I would like to make due to this, and that. Headache. So basically, people don't do that. In order to figure out where we're standing and to be fair and square with it, you got to compare apples and apples. So your current situation, your competition, or where your options, better said. So whether you want to move or whether you want to see whether it's better to move to Remax or Century 21 or Berkshire Hathaway or EXP, like in my case, you got to kind of have those all lined up properly so they can compare one against each other. So your desk fees, your splits, your production, your office stuff that you spend for, your marketing and advertising. Some brokerages allow you to print as much as you want, some charge you for it, and so on. So you got to be, really fair about that. Also, there's a lot of agents out there that are not using those things, and they're not having marketing expense, and they're not doing mailers, and they're not doing flyers and drops and so on. So they don't occur those expenses, but they also have or could have no income. So in order to actually compare it, you got to kind of put the numbers that produce something. So you kind of take the cost of dropping flyers, take a cost of direct mail, take the cost of printing things if you need to do designing things and so on, including all the other fees that the brokerages are charging you, in order to compare apples to apples. So that would be number 1. And for that case, since I am talking on behalf, not on behalf, but as I'm with EXP and know that model and that worked for me, you should always kind of, if you have questions regarding the EXP model, watch the video EXP model explained in 20 minutes that I have down there somewhere. And don't forget to click the subscribe and the little bell, because I issue work on these videos once a week, and you don't want to miss any. They're all important. This is not only for my team, Go Team, but for all agents, because I believe that everybody is entitled to the same knowledge, and only an educated decision can be made if we have all the information. So here's the information further on with number 2. So number 2 is, what's the bottom line? I talked to some friends. I tried talking to some friends about just brainstorming about different issues in the business, and you kind of run into a shield. Oh, my brokerage is the best brokerage ever. I don't plan to ever move from there. My broker is such a great guy, and we owe him this and that. And that's where I stop, because it's just like with a client. If the wall is up, you don't want to kind of try to jump the wall. So there's obviously a disconnect, and the people are in in a state of delusion, and until that delusion breaks up, then they'll be with someone else, with another brokerage, and they'll be probably saying the same story about how great it is. So it's all about math. You add it up, da, 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 underline, see what the score is. So the score on the brokerage so we had number one is expenses, but then the overall score for the brokerage is what kind of environment it provides, how you feel about it, and so on. And can you live without it? EXP doesn't have a brick and mortar store everywhere. We team members or brokers decide to do it or not. I have an office. I want to do trainings in the office with my local staff, with my local team members. But we have a virtual world. We're the leaders in our metaverse. So if you went on to the XP metaverse, you would see that you can walk through the campus, open doors, go to the library, talk to people. There are all these little how do you call them? Avatars walking around with names on them, which are real people, and you can talk to them directly, just like if they were in the same room. And then you can actually go to the administrative offices and take a number and talk to the administrator of whatever things you need to ask, and so on. So it's just like a brick and mortar, except you don't have to get your butt out of the chair to go there. It's all there on that cloud. So I love it. I love it. So that's one of the things that you need to consider, all the things your brokerage is providing. And if I am correct, and you can correct me too, is a lot of people that I know that are with different brokerages basically do not need that brokerage at all. They're not coming to the office. They're not working from the office. They're just in the field producing, and physically they don't need a brick and mortar office at all. So that will be number two. Number three is that this conversation is about you. So I'm settled. I'm in a good position. We're all different, and we have all different goals. So you got to kind of dig in what your goals are, and I'll tell you what mine are so that you can see as an example where I'm going with this. I'm a broker since 2006, and yet I didn't have any agents, or didn't want to have any agents, because thought by my previous bad experiences as a business owner, I hate the overhead that employees provide. I hate overhead of the office and all the cheating, and I want to kill myself when I see somebody wasting my paper and my copy machine like if it wasn't theirs. Of course it's not theirs, it's mine. So I kind of count all those pennies, but they don't. So I hate that. On the other hand, you got to keep, you have 50, 100 agents, you're going to be every day in court, because whether the agents did something wrong or not, whether they were misunderstood by the client, when the lawsuit hits, everybody is named. So, I didn't want that. I did not want that. So I decided all interested agents would go under a friend of mine that is a broker, and I would just go and sell as a broker and live a happy life. And I decided to do that until, the day when I could actually build a brokerage that would solve all those problems. So the day came, EXP showed up, and it had, if you asked me at that time what would my brokerage look like, it was exactly what EXP offered, and I joined, and now I have agents working for me under the EXP, and I do not have the legal liability toward them. I have the responsibility to make them be profitable, because unless they're profitable, I don't make any money on them. So it in a nutshell, it all boils the same way. Whether you kind of change at some point of time and become a broker, your client is now the agent, not the buyer or the seller. Your agents work; they make you a profit by splits that you have with them, and that's your business. If you were a highly producing agent and you're selling 100 properties a year, you would definitely have to hire some agents to help you with that. So you see these teams, I have in my area teams that are very strong, selling 10, 15 properties a month, that have a lot of agents showing those properties, preparing those properties, professional environments, and so on. And and that team leader, the agent, team lead, the person takes most of the profits. He's hiring agents to help them for a split, and but what do you have to show at the end of the day? So we're talking now about where are we, what are we building in the process of working? So if we're just selling and then selling and selling, and our income is showing at the day of the closing, and we have to repeat that all the time for it to work, you are a salesperson. A lot of people I know don't even have the time to bother with the systems, and it's all about the systems. If you spend every day repeating just the same thing, you have to then continue doing it. If you work on the systems, then at some point of time the systems take over and they're making you the money without you being involved, which is, I guess it was my goal. So you have to decide whether that's your goal too. So EXP has systems in place. Again, if you want to find out about them, watch that video. EXP explained in 20 minutes. So that will be that that part where this is all about you, and you need to figure things out, because I figured my things out, and I hate when people come and I try to explain something that I truly believe in, that it is a good, you talk about a cake and you say this cake is really wonderful, and the other party says, well, you know what are you getting out of me trying this wonderful cake? Like, dude, you just missed the point. So basically, we all have our goals. My goal is to create a big, beautiful team across the world, train them, coach them, and live happily ever after. Whatever your goal is, you make the decisions. I'm just here to interpret what EXP does for you. And you, as a professional, will kind of go and explore where you are now, what other options you have, and hopefully explore the EXP opportunity too, and make a decision which is best for you. So that will be number 4. And number 5, technology. If you kind of sit down and check out what technology you have, you gotta, which is really funny, because I know people, and most companies offer some technologies, but a lot of people are not using them. So if you're one of those agents that can actually produce and have a good living and a lot of production without actually using a computer at all, more power to you. But again, it will be that your production is a result of you being just an awesome salesperson and a people person and so on. But you will continuously have to do it, and you don't have any time spent on creating systems that at some point of time, I'm 62 right now, and I'm planning my systems at 62. So I wish you planned them earlier. So the question that drives this conversation is, where would you be and what would your life look like 5 years from now if you did not change anything? So I know if I had done things the right way years ago, I would be in a different position today. So why kind of think backwards? Why not think forward? So you got to make those decisions today so they can actually be fruitful tomorrow. So ask yourself that question, figure it out, see what you need to do, and back to the game. So after you go through these 5 things and figure out the points from 0 to 20, where you are, where your position is compared to the other competitors, we got to get some number. Please post down in the bottom in the description what your score is, so we can talk about it. At the same time, the objectives, and I'll just show you briefly, like my objective, and we're talking about what yours are and so on. If you go to EXP World, you can see here these blue countries. Those are the countries that EXP is already in. So you can see there is England and Portugal, Spain, Germany, France, Italy, and then Turkey, Greece is in the process of getting in. And then you got all these Australia, South America, Canada is of course there. I don't have any connections there, but since I'm from Europe, I'm looking at these potentials where I can actually go in and train my teams in these countries, or at least the countries of interest, which are Germany and England, um, and help those people produce as best as they can, and create receive residual income from my teams abroad. Now, ask yourself, how much money are you receiving from the deals you made in the past? Well, with the EXP model, you can actually be receiving that money into the future from the teams you create. It's your work and your residual income, and you deserve it. So basically, that was my pet peeve, actually, to be a coach and a trainer, which I was, but then maximizing that to a global platform, and then having all these agents around the world be my team. That is exciting. That is exciting for me. I love my biggest strength is teaching. I've done seminars. I do still seminars. I do them on commercial real estate. I do them in business opportunities locally and globally. And now I have a chance to actually put that knowledge to make my team as smart as possible. Now, these videos, please click to subscribe and the button, the ring button, so you can get these videos. They're for everybody. This is about business. This is about business, running your business, and I will be thrilled if this is helping you achieve, better your business. But there's so much that is underlying this for my team members, where they get little charts and maps and strategies and so on to actually get sales. If everybody gets sales, imagine, in the brick and mortar stores I came from 15, 20 years ago, we were all individual little fortresses of secrecy. I cannot talk in my office about my clients because somebody's going to steal my client, and everybody is a production station of their own, and all the secrets are within. But here, if we have so much opportunities. If my whole team can produce, and I kind of pass out, oh, I have this lead, you do it, you do it, you do it, and everybody makes money. The key ingredient to successful real estate is that we make enough money to live a comfortable life, to be able to support our families, to travel, and what more can you ask for? But in your personal production, have enough money, and then travel if you want to expand your business and meet people around the world sharing the same goals and stories. So anyway, until next time, I'll see you on this channel.
Money can buy love. Nothing wrong with being rich.